Now, also today, a NATO delegation, a military delegation, visited Kyiv. Interestingly, it's the first one since the invasion took place. According to NATO officials, they are closer than ever to Ukraine and warned Ukraine against pessimism, which arguably is somewhat difficult. Missiles have been barrage fired at Kyiv. Now, Ukraine says it shot them all down, but it's the first attack on Kyiv in some 6 weeks. With me is Jens Stoltenberg. He is the Secretary General of NATO, and I'm always delighted, sir, to talk to you. Thank you for taking the time. This is the first military delegation to Kyiv. I would have thought you'd have had more there before now.
Well, we had political delegations in Kyiv. I've been there myself, but this is the first time our military committee, or the chairman of the military committee with his advisors, visits Kyiv. And that's an expression of that we are actually now moving Ukraine closer to NATO membership, and to work more closely on them, also military issues, is part of that.
Right, but when Putin, for example, says that essentially the US is at war with Russia, and he also says NATO is at war with Russia, you reject that, of course.
Absolutely, because we have to remember this is a war of aggression by Russia. They attacked another country, violating international law. But according to international law, Ukraine has the right to self-defense, and what NATO is doing is helping Ukraine to uphold the right of self-defense.
There's two aspects on it, and the first and arguably most important is, you said Ukraine cannot win, I'm paraphrasing, sir, forgive me, Ukraine cannot win without US military aid. That is not happening.
Every day the US delays any decision on sustaining the military support has direct consequences on the battlefield. Ukraine doesn't lack courage, they lack ammunition, and therefore it is urgent that the US is making a decision and again step up the military support to Ukraine.
Okay, so Jake Sullivan in Kyiv said today he's confident that it will happen. You said to me in January at Davos you were confident it was going to happen. President von der Leyen said to me she was confident. When does your confidence finally come to reality? It's not happening yet. And if we get to November, it may not happen.
It is serious that the US Congress has not been able to make a decision to provide military support to Ukraine. But the reason why I continue to believe it will happen is that there is a big majority in the US Congress for support to Ukraine. It's about turning this majority into a vote, and at some stage I believe the US Congress will be able to do so.
You know the phrase that the US has, a day late and a dollar short. I mean, it might well happen and it might be too late. Russia is making maybe not huge territorial gains, but their armaments, their military production machine is way ahead of what it was 2 years ago, correct?
They have been able to ramp up their ammunition production. Their economy is on a war footing, and that's the reason why NATO allies are now also mobilizing much more production capacity, because this is now a war of attrition, and then production matters. And of course our economy is much bigger than Russia's economy, so if we have the political will, we can provide Ukraine with the ammunition and weapons they need.
What would you say to those US senators or congressmen who say, yes, we agree, but we want more money for the southern border first? What would you say to them?
It is in the US interest to ensure
they know that.
Yeah, but I mean, then I repeat the message that it will be not only a tragedy for the Ukrainians if President Putin wins in Ukraine, it will be dangerous for all of us. This is something which is very closely watched in Beijing. What happens in Ukraine today can happen in Taiwan tomorrow. So if President Putin wins in Ukraine, it will send a message also to President Xi that when they use military force, invade another country, they get what they want. So this is not charity, this is an investment in US and NATO security to provide support to Ukraine.
You have sat with, when he was President Trump. When you heard him say, I told Putin, take what you want if they don't pay their 2%, was there a shiver that went down your spine?
Well, I worked with President Trump for 4 years. There were more US soldiers in Europe when he left the office than when he started his tenure as president. And I expect the US to remain a staunch NATO ally regardless of the outcome of the US elections, because it is in the US interest to have a strong NATO. it is strong bipartisan support for NATO in the US. And lastly, the criticism from former President Trump has not mainly been against NATO. It has been against NATO allies not spending enough on NATO. And this is now changing. More and more NATO allies are spending at least 2% on defense. So that's a big difference.
You do know what my last question is going to be. Do you know what you're doing when you step down later this year?
No, I really don't know.
But you will come and tell us when you do.
Yes.
I'll take that to the bank. Always, Secretary General, it is always good to see you, sir. I'm very grateful for your time and attention tonight. Thank you very much.
Thanks so much for having me.